Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install GKToday Academy app and there you can get the current affairs in quiz format and in digest format. And this is how you can attempt the quiz. For regular updates, please join our Telegram channel and this is the name of Telegram channel GKToday YouTube. So now let's start the quiz. What is the term of Office of Vigilance Commissioner in Central Vigilance Commission? So recently Central Vigilance Commission was in news as Suresh N. Patel was appointed as a Vigilance Commissioner in CVC, and the term of Office of Central Vigilance Commissioner and Vigilance Commissioners is 4 years or till the time they attain 65 years of age. So whichever is earlier is the tenure. It is important to note that the CVC was given statutory status in 2003 through Central Vigilance Commission Act of 2003, and recently Sanjay Kothari became the new CVC. Who appoints Central Vigilance Commissioner? So Central Vigilance Commissioner is appointed by President, and Central Vigilance Commissioner and Vigilance Commissioners are selected by a committee, and this committee consists of Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition and MHA, that is Minister of Home Affairs. Which country is the largest borrower of Asian Development Bank as of 2020? So India is the largest borrower of Asian Development Bank, and India is the 4th largest shareholder of Asian Development Bank. ADB has approved approximately $30 billion loan to India. Recently, ADB was in news as it announced $1.5 billion COVID package for India, and this is part of COVID support program of Asian Development Bank, under which the bank has provided approximately $20 billion to the Asian countries so that they can revive their economy in this time of corona crisis. Now, what exactly is Asian Development Bank? It is a regional development bank that was established in 1966, and the headquarters is in Philippines. So this funding of Asian Development Bank was approved as a part of CARES program of Asian Development Bank. What is the full form of this CARES? It stands for COVID-19 Active Response and Expenditure Support Program. Which rating agency estimated that India would grow at 0.2% in 2021? Now the question is, which is the lowest ever estimate done for the country after this COVID-19 pandemic? So recently Moodys investors downgraded the GDP growth rate forecast for India, and it is 0.2%, and it is the lowest estimate made for our country till date after this COVID-19 pandemic. It is important to note that previously the estimated growth rate was downgraded from 5.2% to 2.5%. Now it has been downgraded to 0.2%. However, as per the growth forecast, in next year India would grow at 6.2%. Now this Moodys Investors Service is a New York based rating agency. New York is in USA. Recently USA was in news as the space agency of USA, NASA, created Vital. Vital is a ventilator. USA was also in news as recently India's cricketer J. Arun Kumar was appointed as the head coach of USA national team. US was also in news as recently it decided to stop the funding of WHO. WHO stands for World Health Organization. Headquarters is in Geneva. WHO is headed by Dr. Tedros Adhanom. He is from Ethiopia. Capital of Ethiopia is Addis Ababa. The headquarters of African Union is also in Addis Ababa. And presently, the President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, is the chairperson of African Union. Now, USA was also in news because of Taliban deal, and this deal was signed in Doha. Doha is in Qatar, and recently Deepak Mittal was appointed as India's next ambassador to Qatar. On the other hand, Piyush Srivastava was appointed as India's ambassador to Bahrain. Answer in comment box whether Bahrain is a member of GCC or not. GCC stands for Gulf Cooperation Council. Headquarter is in Saudi Arabia in Riyadh. Which Indian private sector bank will hold 30% of stake in Max Life Insurance in its joint venture with Max Financial Services? So Axis Bank is going to hold 30% stakes. Actually, recently Axis Bank announced that it would acquire additional 29% stakes in Max Life Insurance, and therefore Axis Bank will hold 30% stakes while remaining 70% of the stakes will be held by Max Financial Services. Which country is to chair the 5-member BRICS bloc for 2020? So Russia is the chair for 2020. BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. Now recently Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin was tested positive for coronavirus. So recently BRICS was in news as Russia chaired the BRICS foreign ministers meet through video conferencing, and from Indian side Mr. S. Jaishankar, who is our present Minister of External Affairs, participated. Mr. Jaishankar is member of Rajya Sabha from Gujarat. Recently Gujarat was in news as Ahmedabad station became the first station to get sanitizing tunnel. Recently Ahmedabad was also in news as the second tallest statue of Sardar Patel was recently inaugurated in Ahmedabad. The tallest statue of Sardar Patel is also in Gujarat and it is the Statue of Unity, and recently it was included in the SCO list of 8 wonders. SCO stands for Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The headquarters of SCO is in Beijing. Beijing is in China, and China is the host of 2022 Winter Olympic Games. Now coming back to Gujarat, Gujarat was also in news as recently KVIC, that is Khadi and Village Industries Commission, launched India's first silk processing plant in Gujarat in Surendranagar district, and this was launched for Patola saris. Now KVIC was also in news as recently KVIC partnered with Titan for wrist watches, and these wrist watches are made up of Khadi. KVIC was also in news as recently it has developed double layered Khadi mask. KVIC is under MSME Ministry. Petersburg Dialogue is associated with which field? So it is associated to climate action, and recently it was in news as the 11th session of Petersburg Dialogue was organized, and from Indian side Union Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change Mr. Prakash Javadekar participated in this dialogue, and this was done through video conferencing. The Petersburg Dialogue has been hosted by Germany since 2010 to provide a global platform for informal political discussions about climate change and climate action. So this Petersburg Dialogue was hosted by Germany and it was co-chaired by UK, that is United Kingdom. Recently UK was in news because of its bounce back loan scheme. This is a scheme for small businesses which was launched by UK to ensure their revival after this COVID-19 pandemic. UK was also in news as it was the host of recent summit of NATO. What is NATO? NATO is North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Answer in comment box, where is the headquarters of NATO? So recently NATO completed 70 years. Actually it completed 70 years in 2019. Now UK was also in news as it is the first co-chair of Governing Council of CDRI. What is CDRI? It is Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, and it is a India-led global initiative which was established by Prime Minister Mr. Modi in New York. So your homework is to read more about CDRI. After failing to pay the host fee, which country lost the hosting rights of 2021 Men's World Boxing Championship? So we lost the hosting rights of 2021 Men's World Boxing Championship, and now Serbia is going to host it. As per the recent announcement of AIBA, that is International Boxing Association, India failed to pay the host fee. Answer in comment box, where is the headquarters of AIBA. As per the recent study of National Institute of Biomedical Genomics, the novel coronavirus has mutated in how many different types? So as per the study, it has mutated in 10 different types, and this study was conducted by the National Institute of Biomedical Genomics in Kalyani in West Bengal. And out of these 10 mutations, A to A type is most dominant one, and now this study will be published in ICMR. ICMR stands for Indian Council of Medical Research. It is under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Present Minister is Dr. Harshvardhan. Recently, Health Ministry launched COVID India Seva on Twitter to address the queries related to coronavirus. Now, recently, Twitter was in news as RBI launched a Twitter campaign to promote the digital modes of payment, and Bollywood actor Amitabh Bachchan is the face of this campaign. Twitter was also in news as recently Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey pledged to donate $1 billion to the charities working in fight against corona. An international commission named USCIRF is headquartered in which city? So it is in WDC, that is Washington DC. What is USCIRF? It is US Commission for International Religious Freedom. Recently it was in news as it released an annual report, and as per that report, it has classified India under CPC category. What is CPC? It means countries of particular concern. And as per this report, India is a country of particular concern for increasing assault on religious minorities. So the report has published India in a concern list along with various other countries. The strange thing is that USA, which banned Muslims explicitly, is now preaching others about religious freedom. Okay, now coming back to this USCIRF. So this United States Commission on International Religious Freedom is a federal government commission, and it has been created by International Religious Freedom Act of 1998. And the commissioners of this commission are appointed by the president and by the leadership of both political parties in the US Congress. US Congress means the US Parliament, and it has two houses. One is House of Representatives like Lok Sabha, and another one is Senate like Rajya Sabha. So the second homework for you is, what are the differences between India's Rajya Sabha and Senate of USA? The versatile Bollywood actor Irfan Khan, who passed away recently, had won National Award for which movie? So he had won the National Award for Pan Singh Tomar, and the actor passed away recently, and he won this National Award in 2013. Apart from him, recently another well-known Bollywood actor, Mr. Rishi Kapoor, passed away. Which Indian state has introduced a scheme to levy COVID-19 cess for diesel, petrol and motor spirit? So this decision was taken by Nagaland. So it has introduced a scheme to levy COVID-19 cess for diesel, petrol and motor spirit. The decision has been taken by the state government of Nagaland. On the other hand, recently Meghalaya has levied the sales tax surcharge at 2% on the motor spirit, including petrol and diesel. If we talk about few other states which were in news recently, Manipur became the first state in Northeast to be free from coronavirus. Overall, it is the second state in India to be free from coronavirus. Goa is the first state which is free from coronavirus. Goa was also in news as it is the first state to use Ayurveda against coronavirus. Goa was also in news as recently India's first floating jetty was launched in Goa. Apart from that, recently Tripura became the third state of our country to be free from coronavirus. And recently Uttar Pradesh became the first state to start pool testing of coronavirus. Uttar Pradesh was also in news as recently it started geotagging the community kitchens, and it became the first state to do so. Uttar Pradesh also became the first state with in-house facility of virtual courts. Answer in comment box Which state was the first one to start rapid test? Jean Georges Noverre is associated with which day that is celebrated in the month of April? So it is related to World Dance Day. And every year on 29th of April, this World Dance Day is celebrated to commemorate the birth anniversary of Jean Georges Noverre. So 29th of April is World Dance Day, while 30th of April is World Jazz Day, and 30th of April is also celebrated as Ayushman Bharat Divas. Now, there is a scheme named Ayushman Bharat scheme. Answer in comment box whether it is a central sector scheme or central sponsored scheme, and which ministry is the nodal ministry for that scheme. According to the recent report from IDMC, that is International Displacement Monitoring Center, in which country the world's highest number of people were displaced last year? So it is our country. And recently the report GRID 2020 was released. What is GRID 2020? It is Global Report on Internal Displacement. Internal displacement means displacement within the country. So as per this report, 5 million people were displaced in India in 2019, and this is highest in the world till date. So right answer is India. And this GRID 2020 report has been released by IDMC, that is International Displacement Monitoring Center. And IDMC is a part of Norway Refugee Council. Now the capital of Norway is Oslo, and there is a Oslo Accord. Answer in comment box, it is associated to which field? Longlang and Chuilan are the names of which migratory birds which were recently mentioned by Union Environment Ministry. So these are the names of Amur falcon. And recently the Union Environment Ministry announced that these birds named Longlang and Chuilan were satellite tagged. That means a satellite is monitoring these birds, and therefore they are providing information regarding the flying pattern of these birds. So these were the important questions of today's quiz. Now we are going to cover certain news. So first news is related to Madhya Pradesh, and recently Madhya Pradesh government started Jeevan Amrit Yojana to boost immunity. Madhya Pradesh was also in news as recently it started a scheme for the urban women, and as per that scheme, urban women can make mask at home and the government will pay to them. Answer in comment box what is the name of that particular scheme. So apart from Madhya Pradesh, recently Neeraj Vyas was appointed as MD and CEO of PNB Housing, and recently Government of India appointed T.S. Trimurti as India's next ambassador to United Nations. On the other hand, recently Deepak Agarwal was banned by ICC for 2 years. ICC stands for International Cricket Council. So Deepak Agarwal has been banned by ICC from all formats of cricket for 2 years. Headquarters of ICC is in Dubai. Recently, Umar Akmal, Pakistani cricketer, was banned by PCB for 3 years. And recently Pakistani cricketer Sana Mir announced her retirement. Next event is related to PESB. What is PESB? It is Public Enterprises Selection Board. So recently, Mr. Rajiv Kumar, the former Finance Secretary, has been appointed as the new Chief of PESB for 3 years. Apart from that, recently Australia started a demand for international probe. That means international investigation in the origin of coronavirus. And recently USA supported this demand of Australia. Apart from that, recently Karnataka started online chess tournament to raise fund for COVID-19 relief fund. So these were the most important questions of today's quiz. Thank you, and that's all for the day.